I'm going to be responding to one of my most asked questions on this channel regarding my weight loss. And I've had a viral video which has generated hundreds of questions about how you lose weight so quickly by fasting. And I decided to not just give you guys that answer, but to go further and give you my sort of experience doing 1 meal a day and alternate day fasting. So if you are not conversant with this, 1 meal a day, as it says, eating 1 meal a day is a form of intermittent fasting, and alternate day fasting means you eat every other day. But before I dive in, I just want to introduce myself. My name is Lua, and I'm a mom of 4, and I do videos on day-to-day life situations. I also talk about topics that you understand, and most importantly, my weight loss journey, as well as how I plan my meals, and I just share healthy recipes, finance, and self-improvement. Now, going straight to the topic at hand, I want to talk about fasting. I've been fasting most of my adult life, and I will not take you guys down memory lane too much because I'm going to make this video short and sweet. But just to give you guys an idea, I've always been relatively big like a younger child. I lost quite a bit of weight like a teenager, and I stayed slim till I had kids. I have 4 kids. My first is 14, almost 15. My last is 4. So I've been having kids within a long period of time. Within this time, I put on like most of us moms. And I found a rhythm. I found something that worked during lockdown. I did not know that it was a term for it. It just worked with my body. Before I had my 4th, I was comfortably a size 8 after having 3 kids. I had no fat in my belly, and I looked great, and I never went to the gym. So what worked for me was doing some sort of intermittent fasting. So let's talk today about what fasting is and what it does to your body. First of all, when you hear about eating 1 meal a day or fasting for a long period of time, you might think, what? When you go to bed and sleep for 7-8 hours, you're fasting. Of course you are. It's a natural way not to eat. So that's part of the times that you don't eat. What 1 meal a day is, there's variations to this. It's not like just eating 1 meal. It's more like eating in a window. That's how it's worked for me. So I've always done either 18 hours of no food, and then I have 6 hours to eat, but I choose to eat in a 3-hour window. And to make it simpler, if you fancy breakfast sort of meals, you can have that at 1 o'clock, which is when you start eating. After fasting, it depends on when your last meal the day before was. If your last meal was, say, at 8 p.m. the day before, and then you go to bed, you wake up at 8 o'clock, you've had a 12 hours fast, easy. And then you stay till about 1. For me, it works because that's when I get a bit hungry, because in the morning, time just goes quickly. You can drink water. Of course, it's not a dry fast. You can have teas, but no sugar or no milk. So it's just like herbal teas, and then it keeps you going till about 1 o'clock when I get the hunger pangs. And I have a meal then, and I'll talk about what I eat in a minute, but whatever you want to eat, you're free to. That's what we call 1 meal a day. You have that meal, and then if you fancy a breakfast sort of meal like porridge, I love my porridge and my berries, and I can have that at 1:15. And then at 2:30, I think actually I fancy some I don't know, whatever, a meal, like a proper meal. You can have that till 3. You've eaten in 2 hours, and your body starts burning that, because after 10 hours of not eating, what happens within your body is that your body goes now to the fats reserved and burns it like energy. Okay, and then after about certain 16 hours, it uses your fatty acids, and it turns that into ketones into your bloodstream, and it goes up. I can tell you more what happens 36 hours. You get into autophagy, and there's a whole process. What the science says is, once you've fasted for long hours, say 36 to 40 hours fast, it could reverse certain health conditions. It could actually help your memory, even cancer. So there are benefits to fasting. Now, my question is, how long do you not eat for? That's the $1 million question. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Is it 1 meal a day, or is it alternate day fasting? I'll give you the pros and the cons, because I've done both, and I only did ADF, and I'll call that ADF today just to make this video not too long. I talk really fast. I want to get this over with. ADF is alternate day fasting, and Omad is 1 meal a day. Let's use those acronyms, get out of the way. Did ADF for the first time a few months ago when I was introduced somehow on YouTube, and I tested it. It did work, but I'll talk today about what I have observed both and say exactly what my opinion is. First, let's talk about the pros of 1 meal a day. And that will give you guys an idea of how I managed to achieve the amount of weight I lost in a short time. The first positive thing about 1 meal a day is it's a lot more tolerable. It's a lot more user-friendly because more people can do it than other extremes like the ADF. Because if you think about the times that most people who are trying to lose weight eat, they eat before dusk. Eat before it's dark. That's the rule. When it's winter, it's a challenge, different story. But if you eat, say, I always like to use 8 p.m. because 8 p.m. is when you really think I've had enough, shower, brush my teeth, no more food. You sleep, get up in the morning. As I said before, you can wait till 1 o'clock and you have your meal then. So it's more tolerable, more user-friendly. The beginning is always a bit of a challenge. You get into the rhythm, it's good. So you still have a social life. That's the thing. Number 2, good thing is that you don't have to count your calories as such because you know what? When you're eating 3 times a day, calorie counting and all that, it is really difficult because you don't get it right all the time. You're always constantly looking at labels. But again, it's your choice. When I do Omad during the week, I still make sure that I don't have complex carbs or processed sugars and processed carbs. You can do what you want, but I find it easier to eat clean during the week, even if I'm eating 1 meal a day. It helps your results long term. That's the other positive. The other thing as well is that you don't necessarily have to exercise vigorously to achieve results. I have done it both ends, but when I did my challenge, which I said the video has really been, people think that it was made up. It wasn't. I was having a strict 1 meal a day, having just fish, no carbs for 10 days and doing rigorous exercise by Chloe Ting. It was 14 days, 2 weeks, and I lost half my body weight. That's the other thing about Omad is you don't have to exercise, you will lose weight steady but surely. And the other positive about 1 meal a day is you don't have saggy skin if you do it long term. Your body gradually just eats up stored fat and you have a much more natural way to lose weight. And the other thing that I think I've mentioned already is that you can make it work for you. You choose the window that when you're most hungry and you make sure that you eat on that time every day. Consistency with weight loss gives you better results. Of course, your body is very intelligent. After some time, it will say, oh, you're storing this fat, I'm not going to use it. But you generally have results quick. The negative about Omad, the things that I found difficult with 1 meal a day is just at the beginning, like everything else. At the beginning, I always struggled to kind of keep the rhythm, and I'll just sometimes, break it because I'm human. But again, for everything, it's difficult. The other thing about Omad is that at the beginning, you lose more and then it might get slower later on compared to ADF. And that's the only negative I can think about 1 meal a day. And you might not be able to have all of the required nutrients within the window. So you have to make a conscious decision, conscious effort to incorporate all the healthy things that you need to eat in that window. Of course, out of that window, you can still have your teas, coffees, and herbal teas. Now, let's talk about ADF. ADF, like I said, is today you eat. So the way that works, let me describe it. It's going to be really, if you have never done it, you might think, what? I did it for months and it did work. Now, what you do, talk about 8 p.m. going to bed again. You go to bed at 8 p.m. The next time you wake up is at 8 a.m., for example, or maybe 6. That's 12 hours. Then you wait till 8 p.m. that day, and then that's 24 hours. And then if you go to bed, you wake up at 8 o'clock, that's 36 hours. So that's, if you choose to eat then, you've done a 36 hours fast. And the whole of the next day, you're allowed to eat for 24 hours till the next day. So it's a slightly more. So let's talk about the pros and the cons. The positive of that is, one, yes, you lose a lot of weight really quickly. People who have like weddings or some events and you want to lose the weight quickly, trust me, do that for 2 months, you will lose at least 15-20 kilos with everything else being equal. 2, other positive about that is you don't worry about food. You think about everything but food. That's one thing I felt really easy. I forgot to mention a positive of ADF is that it shrinks your stomach. I'm sorry. It shrinks your stomach so bad that within the days that you have to eat, you're not able to eat. So that's a good thing. And the positive thing as well with that is in terms of discipline, it is one thing that makes people not lose weight. It is the big D. Are you disciplined? This helps you. If you can do ADF, you can do anything. It takes your discipline to a whole new level. And then it even helps further because your body gets into that mentality where you don't eat and your stomach shrinks. So it's a natural way to do it. It is a natural way to do it. So yeah, And then the other things, as I said, you don't have loose skin like Omad. When you lose weight, you get toned up. Ideally, you should have some exercise. But on the days that I was not eating, I struggled to go to the gym because I felt so tired and I felt lethargic, no energy. But if you had one meal, it could push you up. I think I'm giving away my decision. Anyway, that's what I experienced, and I have people asking me, talk about Omad, talk about ATF, what do you think? And the lots of videos, but I've not seen one that actually said my opinion is when I did ADF, it was great. I lost weight at the beginning, and like everything else, it plummets, right? Your body gets used to get smart. You have to be much more conscious. And I was eating a lot of junk in 24 hours, trust me. And my whole policy of not counting what I eat out of the window, because with Omad, I still made sure that I ate healthy during the week. So personally, I feel like Omad is much more tolerable long term because anybody can do it. You can keep up a life with 1 meal a day longer. It's feasible because most people actually have 1 meal a day without realizing, but you're more conscious. But as opposed to ADF, where you have to overthink, you don't have a social life, you lose going out, you lose friendship, and you get so cold, you get miserable. So I feel like Omad might be better long term. What do you guys think? Give me your opinions and let's talk about this in the comment section. Tomorrow I'll be live talking about the September challenge, 1 meal a day, and just putting your steps in. No gym required. Join in 8:30 UK time on this channel. Let's have a chat, and if you have any questions, please feel free to add them underneath. And yes, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, give us a like, consider subscribing, and I'll see you in my next video. I hope that this has helped you to decide as a beginner which to do, and maybe after doing Omad for a while, you might want to switch to ADF, take it one step further. Thanks again, and I'll see you in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.